Hello, welcome to another Smile, Create, Repeat art supply demonstration video. In this episode we'll be creating a little illustration using colored pencils and some toned paper from the May 2016 surprise. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is to have an idea, and usually that starts either on another piece of paper and in a sketchbook. So what I thought about doing is, because I'm using the gray paper and I have pink and red and brown and blue, and I thought that would look good in this illustration, I'm going to utilize the gray of the paper and do an elephant, and I'm going to put a little pink dress on her. And see what happens. And these are the different ideas I had. So I started out with this here, just trying to get something out, but I didn't like it. I didn't want the tusk because I don't have white, so I didn't want to use that. So then I went to this one, and I like how it felt, and then I added the spinning tail to show movement, and I worked on it a couple different times, and I thought that was fine, but I didn't really like the way the eyes were, and I put a hat on her too. And then I went to this one and decided, nah, I don't like the hat, and I drew this eye, and then I added this other one, and I like how the legs drop here, and I still added that, the tail spinning, kind of making her fly, and then I just explored different options for how the trunk is, how I want it, because this was the quick thought. Then I tried to fix it there, and I think I'll probably go with something similar to this one, so we'll see what happens. I'll leave that on the side and just go. So I'm gonna start with I have a blue one, so I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna cut that out. So the basic shape, the circle, that'll be the body, and here's her butt coming up here, coming down there. Then we'll add her head right there, coming down. And now how are we going to do the trunk? It's going to be, this isn't really how I draw. There's the eye. And then let's see. And I noticed in my thumbnail, my sketch when I drew it, that I drew the leg in, but then I didn't have anywhere to put her dress. So I'm going to put that in before I put her leg in, and it's got to come around the curve of her back and around her side. So don't just draw a straight line. Make sure it comes around, follows the curve of the surface. And then maybe these are pink flower petals or something like that, and that one's back behind there. And now we'll draw that leg in, so it's really hidden by the dress now. And the toes are there, and then that other leg is really just not even visible, so we'll shade that in. Okay. And the tail's probably out there, so we'll just zoop, zoop. Then the eye. Gotta get rid of those fabulous eyelashes. And then the eyeball there. And some of the cheek. And this mouth would be over this way more. Oh, and let's get, so what do we got here? That needs to have the eyebrow, the brow, and let's get that other ear in there. Alright, that's good and silly. Alright, so I'm gonna, just gonna use a lot of the gray of the paper, so I'm gonna leave that, and then let's start working on the dress. Oh, the mouth has some pink, and doing the light colors on the gray is cool. And with these art sticks, they're really nice because you can cover large areas, or you can use the edges like almost like the edge of a flat paintbrush, or you can break them and really use the broad strokes to cover things quickly if you want to. Right now I'm just adding some pink to the dress. And as I'm thinking about it, I want the elephant's going to be gray like the paper, like I said before, so in order to separate her from the, so here where she is and the paper is, I'm going to have to do something around her perimeter. And I'm not sure if I'm going to, what I'm going to do with that. I don't know. Am I going to use the pencil that we have in there, or am I going to use one of the colors to kind of outline her shape to separate her from the background? I'll have to see. I don't have the answer right now, but maybe the answer will present itself once I get the drawing going more. Okay. So now with color pencils, a really great thing about it is, or one of the things you need to do, really want to do with it, is layer colors. So we have this, I have the base pink, and now I'm coloring and layering red, and I'm pushing very softly on these over the pink to get some value and some variation shading and all that. And then I'm going to show you, you can go back over it with the pink. It's called burnishing, and that's going to make the colors more intense and blend them in. And I'm varying the strokes, so I'm not just going left and right, I'm going up and down, sometimes circles, to fill in what I'm trying to do, and also maybe to create some variation and some texture. And let's see, there's also going to be a band, maybe the waistband of the dress, just to tie it in and clean up the line there. So after the sketch part, I should have gone in and erased some of these blue lines, which I'm still going to do later on. I just don't want to do it now. Well, like these, the guidelines that I used to draw the initial shapes. And as you can see, I'm outlining. Okay. There's some, oh, that's coming in. So now, so I'm pushing harder with that. That blends in. The red that I just put on there. So now it's more, instead of pink with red, it's just a little darker pink. Okay. Now I'm just going in and adding color and details. And brown I'm using as kind of my dark color too. Maybe she has. Maybe I can add a little bit of brown in there. And now I'm going to go into the red in the mouth so it can, and I'm pushing a little harder because I really want the red to blend with the brown to make it a darker red. Just on the back, and then this little spot I left is going to be the tongue. And I'm going to go back in with the pink to lighten that up. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to just keep going using this brown to refine the lines and add some dark spots if I want to. So this leg, her front leg there, I'm putting that back. Okay. Oh, and she of course has pink toenails, right? And hope elephants have tails like that. I think they do. I'll find out if you guys tell me. Guess I should have looked that up before I did it. Oh well. They don't wear dresses either, so does it matter? And these are motion lines to show that it's spinning, hopefully. Now we're gonna, let's add that, finish the foot there. And you can use the blue too. If you add this, well for me I have the blue here. But you just got to blend the colors. If you mix the light and the dark, see what you got. So I have the pink and the red, now mixing the blue, and of course in this case that's going to give you a purplish color, which can be used as your dark color. So I put the blue there, but I wasn't right on top of where I had the red and the pinks, so some of it showed through. So now that I go back over with the red, that looks like really like a brownish, reddish purple. And that's something you do too. You just mix them, and you can layer and layer and layer. Just keep layering the colors till you get it. And that's really the biggest thing with color pencils is it's not a quick medium. It takes a while because you do want to add the layers, because if I just did that, if I had a million colors here to choose from and I just did that all pink and gray, it's not as exciting as if you use different variations of pink, add blue in there and all these different colors. It just adds a little more excitement to it, I think. And that's what I'm trying to do with this illustration. Just try to have some fun with the color. So here's the back of her leg. And what I could do is I could, instead of using this brown, I could be doing the red on the blue, which would probably be a little more exciting color-wise than just using the brown pencil. Alright, so I'm going to erase this. This is just a white eraser. Let's see how that does. And I'm just trying to erase some of the guidelines I drew when I started out. And those initial lines I drew light because I wanted to be able to erase them and get rid of them. Okay. And we'll put her cheek in. And of course it's a little pink and rosy, because why not? And now, as you see, I'm using the side of the pencil because I really want it to be soft, and I really want to build up the color very gradually and softly. So I'm going to go back in with the pink, and the pink, when I put it down the first time, I did put it down pretty hard, but I think that's great, or I think that works, not great. And okay. I'm just going over. And I bet that's pink. Okay, so right now, the nostrils. So I did them dark brown inside, and I think that's going to be pink. But I did the dark brown because I knew I was going to put pink over it. So I want there to be a layer, the layering of the color there. Okay. Okay, let's see, now we'll go in. And I'm doing little circles because I can't, because I just want to make sure I get a lot of color in there. Okay, and maybe it's underneath the trunk here a little bit. On the bottom side's a little pink. So I'm doing it very soft, so you might not see it, but I did a little pink there, and I'm going to do a little pink under her belly, just to add some more color variation and maybe a little more exciting. And it's very soft. Okay. Alright. So let's see. So, well, since she's flying, I thought about it, and I think we're going to do some blue around her. So how much blue do I want to do? Do I want to just do an outline around her? I think I'm going to try that first. I don't know what I'm going to do over here, but I'm going to try doing an outline with the blue, because that'll show the sky, maybe that she's flying, and separate her from the background. And I'm starting over, I'm doing the outline instead of filling in a big square, because if I do the outline and then decide, well, maybe I do need the square, I can always add that. But if I went right in and did the square or rectangle, I wouldn't have any options to change it. And maybe this is something you want to decide, of course, in your sketchbook, so you don't ruin your drawing if it's something you don't think you'll like. And I'm not outlining the strokes, I mean the movement lines yet, because I just don't know if I want to. I don't know if it's going to look good, so I'm not going to do it yet. And then if I think, oh, it looks funny without them, I'll do it. But this, again, this is really, just spend time. You got to spend some time on this. Just like everything, to get good at everything, you need to spend time. It takes practice, practice, practice. So the only way to get good at drawing and get better at drawing is to draw more and more. So if it's something you want to do, you keep working on it. And I'm assuming you do want to, because you're watching this. And I'm pushing pretty hard here, because this part, I'm not going to, like I talked about earlier, how layering the colors really is cool. But with this part, I'm not layering any colors. This is just going to be this color, and that's it. So the nice thing about color pencils is you can press hard and really get the color and the saturation, almost like a marker. But you also have the delicate tones you can produce, because it's a pencil and you can really apply light pressure and get those, and then of course for the blending. This worked out well because this also hides the initial sketch lines that I did for the initial sketch lines. That's it. I don't have anything else to add to that. And I'm going to be turning it. Okay. And I don't want to put hand on that, so I have this little scrap of paper to rest my hand on so I don't smudge it with my hand and try to keep the oils from my hands off my drawing. And now this is developing, my pencil is developing a flat edge, a worn edge, so you would want to sharpen it. Or, as you twist the pencil, you can use that flat edge to your advantage to cover a larger area. But it just takes practice, because you don't know exactly where it's going to go. The mark you make, I mean. Alright. So I think that looks pretty good, but I am going to add no, I don't think I'm going to add any more. What I was debating is do I want to add a cloud in there? So do some blue behind it. I don't think I want to. I don't think it's going to add to the drawing. Do I want to add a square in the back? But then again, I didn't know. I don't think it'll look good with the propeller tail. So we're going to leave that like that. And then maybe we can add some, sharpen the pen. Alright, so now I think we're going to, all this blue light around here, I'm going to add some soft shadows with the blue pencil, because I don't want them dark like the brown. I just wanted a little bit of shadow, and this, I'm going to do it on this ear to make the front, to make that edge of the head pop. And that's a little darker. Maybe under her eyebrow there. And this side of the mouth, this side of the trunk. Oh, she looks like a silly clown now with all these colors on her face. This is why I don't do makeup, so. And then there's the shadow under this ear, and under her cheek, and more under her ear. And then the shadow, and there's maybe some reflected light on this side of the leg. So I'll leave a little bit there, and this is the top of the leg, it's coming out and then down. So this part will have more. We'll add a little bit of shadow there. And then the pink belly needs a little bit of blue, because if the shadow's there, so that pink is going to have a little bit of the shadow on it. And we'll do it up to there to make that show up. And then this ear, put that line, and I'm going to shade from it. And then this foot, yeah, that back foot, oh, I need to add that. This back leg will be brown, dark brown, just like that other one, this one over here. And I'm going in and adding brown to some of these, just to, because I really want those to be separate and defined. So I think the little bit of brown isn't going to really read brown, it's just going to read as dark, which will separate, I don't know what these are, feathers of the dress, leaves, whatever they are. Is it a Tinkerbell elephant? Oh, I don't know if I can say Tinkerbell. So that little fairy that wears green dresses and flies around when you think happy little thoughts. So, yeah, there you go. So I think that's it. Thank you for watching and being a part of this. If you draw something, let me know. I'd love to see it. If you have any questions, you can either leave them in the comments section under the video or send us an email. We always love hearing what you guys have to say and seeing what you guys have created. If you didn't get one of these surprises, you can learn more about Smile, Create, Repeat at our website, smilecreaterepeat.com, and all the social media channels. You should be able to find something, some information from your fellow creators and artists. So yeah, thank you again. I hope you guys have a great spring, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.